Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving deep into the world of mysteries and unbelievable events. We're talking stories that'll make you question everything you thought you knew, and facts so wild you'll be checking Google to make sure we're not messing with you. So, buckle up, smash that like button, and get ready to have your mind blown.
Picture this. 1587, a group of over 100 men, women, and children set sail from England to establish a new life in the New World. They were filled with hope and dreams of a better future, leaving behind the familiar shores of England for the unknown. They land on Roanoke Island, off the coast of what is now North Carolina. This island was to be their new home, a place where they could start fresh and build a community from the ground up. Seems like a pretty standard history lesson, right? Just another chapter in the story of early American colonization. Well, here's where things get wild. The story takes a dramatic turn that has puzzled historians for centuries. 3 years later, a supply ship returns to Roanoke, but the colonists are gone, vanished. Poof, the settlement is deserted with no sign of struggle or immediate clues to their fate. The only clue? The word Croatoan carved into a post. This single word has sparked endless theories and debates. So, what happened to the Roanoke colonists? This question has baffled experts and amateur sleuths alike. Did they face a surprise attack? Some suggest that the colonists might have been attacked by local tribes, leading to their sudden disappearance. Did they try to sail back to England and get lost at sea? The treacherous Atlantic waters could have easily claimed their lives if they attempted such a perilous journey. Some folks believe they integrated with a local Native American tribe, the Croatoan people, whose name was carved on that post. This theory suggests a peaceful assimilation rather than a violent end. Imagine a whole colony just blending in with a new culture. They could have learned new ways of living, adopting the customs and traditions of the Croatoan tribe. Talk about an unexpected plot twist. The idea that they might have simply joined another community is both fascinating and plausible. We're talking about a time before GPS, before cell phones, before Twitter. Communication was slow, and news traveled at a snail's pace. If you disappeared back then, you were really gone. There were no search parties with modern technology, no way to send out a quick alert. It's like the ultimate ghost story, but with real people. The eerie silence of the abandoned settlement adds to the mystery and intrigue, and the mystery remains unsolved to this day. Despite numerous investigations and countless theories, the fate of the Roanoke colonists is still one of history's greatest enigmas. What really happened to them? The answer might be lost to time, but the story continues to captivate our imaginations.
You've heard of World War I, World War II, but have you heard of the Great Emu War? It's a bizarre chapter in history that sounds almost too strange to be true, but it really happened. This wasn't some epic battle in a fantasy movie. This was a real-life conflict that went down in Australia in 1932. Picture the vast open landscapes of the Australian outback, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the horizon stretches endlessly. And the enemy? Giant flightless birds called emus. These creatures, standing over 6 feet tall with long necks and powerful legs, were not your average backyard birds. They were formidable and surprisingly fast. You see, after World War I, a bunch of former soldiers turned farmers in Australia. These men, having returned from the horrors of war, sought to rebuild their lives by cultivating the land. They were given plots of land by the government as part of a soldier settlement scheme. They were trying to make a living, but there was just one problem: emus, thousands of them. These birds migrated from the inland regions to the coast, and in doing so, they trampled and devoured the crops that the farmers had painstakingly planted. These emus were big, they were hungry, and they were destroying crops left and right. The farmers' livelihoods were at stake, and the situation was becoming increasingly dire. The emus, in their quest for food, left a trail of destruction in their wake. The farmers were desperate, so they called in the big guns, literally. They sought help from the government, which decided to deploy military personnel to handle the situation. It was an unusual request, but the government agreed. The The Australian military got involved, armed with Lewis machine guns, ready to take down these feathered foes. The soldiers, equipped with weapons designed for human combat, were now facing an entirely different kind of enemy. You'd think it'd be an easy win for the humans, right? Wrong. The emus proved to be surprisingly resilient. They were not only tough, but also incredibly agile, making them difficult targets for the soldiers. Emus are tough, and they can run. They can reach speeds of up to 50 kilometers per hour, and their erratic movements made it nearly impossible for the soldiers to aim accurately. The soldiers opened fire, but the emus scattered, making them difficult targets. It was chaos. The birds would dart in different directions, and the soldiers found themselves wasting ammunition on missed shots. The Great Emu War lasted for about a month, and let's just say the emus won this round. Despite the soldiers' best efforts, the emus continued to wreak havoc on the farmlands. The military operation was deemed a failure. The soldiers eventually withdrew, defeated by a bunch of birds. The emus had outsmarted and outmaneuvered the military, leaving the farmers to find other ways to protect their crops. The Great Emu War remains a fascinating and somewhat humorous episode in history, a reminder that sometimes nature has the upper hand.
Imagine this. It's 1908 and you're in Siberia. Suddenly the sky lights up brighter than the sun. There's a deafening roar and a shockwave knocks you off your feet. That's what happened during the Tunguska event, one of the most mysterious explosions in history. This wasn't some small-town fireworks show. This explosion flattened over 80 million trees over an area of 830 square miles. That's like the size of a small country. Scientists believe the Tunguska event was caused by an asteroid or comet exploding in the atmosphere. But here's the thing, no crater was ever found. It's like something blew up without actually hitting the ground. Some people think it was a UFO, others believe it was a secret government experiment gone wrong. Whatever it was, the Tunguska event remains one of the biggest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century.
Imagine dancing for days on end, unable to stop, your body aching, your mind exhausted. Your feet blistered, your muscles screaming for relief, yet you continue to dance, as if possessed by an unseen force. That's what happened during the Dancing Plague of 1518, a bizarre and terrifying event that struck Strasbourg, France. This wasn't just a small group of people. It was an entire community caught in the grip of an inexplicable compulsion. It all started with a woman named Frau Troffea. On a hot July day, she stepped into the street and began to dance. Her movements were rhythmic but frantic, and she seemed unable to stop. She danced through the day and into the night, her feet moving tirelessly. People watched in astonishment, unsure of what to make of this strange spectacle. For days she danced, and as the days turned into weeks, others joined her. Men, women, and even children found themselves compelled to dance, unable to resist the mysterious force that had taken hold of them. Soon, hundreds of people were dancing uncontrollably in the streets of Strasbourg. The city was transformed into a scene of chaos, with people dancing in the squares, the streets, and even inside their homes. They weren't doing the latest TikTok dance craze. This was different. This was a dance of desperation, a dance that seemed to have no end. This was manic, uncontrolled movement. Doctors were baffled. They observed the dancers trying to understand what was happening, but they found no answers. They couldn't explain what was causing this mass dancing frenzy. Theories abounded, but none could definitively explain the phenomenon. Some thought it was a curse. Others blamed hot blood or demonic possession. The idea of a curse was particularly compelling as it fit with the superstitions of the time. The dancing plague eventually subsided, but it left behind a trail of unanswered questions. The dancers, exhausted and bewildered, returned to their normal lives, but the memory of the event lingered. What caused this strange phenomenon? Was it mass hysteria? Some modern scholars believe that the dancing plague was a form of mass psychogenic illness, where psychological stress manifests as physical symptoms, a bizarre form of epilepsy, or something else entirely. The true cause of the dancing plague remains a mystery, a fascinating and eerie chapter in the history of human behavior. The story of the dancing plague of 1518 continues to intrigue and baffle historians, scientists, and curious minds alike.
Imagine a book filled with strange symbols, illustrations of unknown plants, and diagrams that look like they belong in a science fiction movie. That's the Voynich manuscript, a 15th century codex that has baffled cryptographers, linguists, and historians for centuries. It's written in an unknown script, a language that doesn't seem to exist anywhere else in the world. Some people think it's a secret code, others believe it's a hoax. Over the years, countless attempts have been made to decipher the Voynich manuscript. Codebreakers have tried everything from frequency analysis to artificial intelligence, but the manuscript's secrets remain elusive. Is it a lost language, a message from extraterrestrials, or just a very elaborate prank? We may never know for sure. The Voynich manuscript stands as a testament to the enduring power of mystery.
Subscribe if you want more stories and facts. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed these stories and facts, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. We've got a ton of more mind-blowing content coming your way, so stay tuned. See you next time.